Everyone. First of all, thank you for having us today. I will briefly introduce Waycare and what we're doing. So my name is Sagi Vela, and I'm Business Development Director at Waycare. Next slide, please. What we're doing, we are an AI cloud-based software platform that is doing proactive traffic management. So the main problem today with traffic management is that there is already a lot of data that is coming in, but it's very much siloed. So a lot of agencies and even Ministry of Transportation invested millions and hundreds of millions of dollars in infrastructure projects, but they're not really connected to each other. So if anyone visited a traffic management center, you see an operator looking at many, many different screens, and all of those data feeds are very much siloed, and there isn't one clear picture. And also, in order to gain more visibility on what is going on the roads, they tend to go on a very heavily costly physical infrastructure projects that will take very long time to implement and will cost a lot of money. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. So what we're doing basically is we're tapping into the traffic management centers. And first of all, we will aggregate all of the different data feeds into one holistic platform with a very friendly UI for the operators to understand what is going on the roads. And second of all, we will introduce new data feeds. Next slide, please. New data feeds that are that there's already a lot of data that is going on the road today. This is not science fiction. You know, connected vehicles are not something like a vision for the next couple of years. There's already a lot of data that is being produced right now, and together with our partners like Wejo, Autonomo, but also working directly with OEMs like Volvo, the one official partnerships that we have, but we are talking directly with other OEMs. We're already getting a lot of insights from vehicles that are running. It could be telematics companies. And next slide, please. Just a few examples of the amount of devices that are out there and generating a lot of information. Next slide, please. So basically what the technology is doing is we're learning the behavior of the roads. And from doing that, we can understand and analyze and give to the traffic management centers that, okay, there is now regular congestion, something that is happening, you know, every rush hour, but also then differentiate what is irregular congestion. And in most cases that we're seeing is that irregular congestion is happening because there was a car accident. There is some hazard on the road. And the reason why a lot of agencies are like to work with us from pilot to a big framework agreement, and then we're seeing, you know, in the US, we're seeing the customers are then persuading other public agencies to work with us, is we're helping them change the mindset from just being very passive. And this is what is happening in most of the traffic management centers. You're just reacting to stuff that are happened. And also the way to be informed is if a civilian would call in and report it in. So by being able to understand what is going on before someone even reported it in, makes a lot of value and a very big impact in the way that they're managing the roads, they're taking care of car accidents while they happen. But also we have the ability, again, using our technology to predict what will happen. We're doing it in a window of 24 hours ahead in segments of 2 hours, and we're notifying specific segment of roads that will have more tendency to be dangerous. There's a high probability of a car crash there. So with the already limited resources of an agency, they will be able to control the resources better, and then understand, okay, this is an area that will be a bit more problematic. Let's send or let's report to the highway police that they should be stationed there. Next slide, please. Another key issue, another key feature that we have is, and it's very popular in the US, is where through the platform, we're able to also, or agencies are able to communicate with drivers. So there's the 511, it can be with crowd source apps like Waze and others, that agencies are using this form of communication to directly interact with drivers and notify them that is something that is going on the road. Next slide, please. As a whole, we have an open architecture. We believe in partnerships, and we're agnostic to any kind of hardware that currently is deployed. So in the partners list, we are already working with the big integrators, the big ITS systems that are deployed. We are agnostic to the needs of our customers, and it's a SaaS platform. So once we're deployed, once everything is integrated, it's very easy to control and to use. Next slide, please. Regarding our deployment, so the company was founded back in 2016 in Israel, but the first go-to-market was the US. So we started from a small pilot in Vegas, and from there expanded to South Nevada region. And now we're deployed in over 10 states. By the end of this year, we're hoping to be deployed in over 13 states. In Israel, this is kind of our R&D base. So we're obviously on a national reach. We're covering the state of Israel, but also we're launching a project with the Toyota Mobility Foundation in Bangkok, something that will be really interesting to investigate further. Next slide, please. And as a conclusion, so we just published a white paper, I think it was 2 days ago, about the Road to Zero, a project that we did together with the South Nevada transportation agencies and with the highway police. So we took 1 year and the specific segments of the highway while working with all different agencies, and with our prediction abilities, we notify them, okay, you should station those. We should station those police cars in this specific roads that will have more tendency to be more dangerous. And in conclusion of this project, we were able to reduce by 18% the numbers of car crashes. This also helped the state to win another grant. So now there's a lot of initiatives by the federal government, and we're helping agencies and local authorities to win those kind of grants. The key feature, or the key again stat, is that we're helping our customers to identify 20% more incidents they will never be aware without our platform. I mentioned the public outreach, which is very significant, and there is a 9-minute reduction in the identification that something happened. And this is something that is very crucial when you're attending someone that was hurt, or also clearing out, a hazardous road, or
second warning.
No problem. That was the last point I had. Again, thank you very much for having me. Looking forward for your questions.
Thank you, Sagiv. Open up the floor. Any questions for Waycare? Sagiv from Waycare?
I'm Sota from Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, and I have a question. Do you have any competitors? And if so, what is your advantage point over them?
It's a very good question. So I mentioned the big companies like Siemens or other integrators that we're listing as partners. So what we're seeing, when I first joined, I thought that, okay, wait a second, that's the biggest competition. But what I've learned is that, they're massive companies, And there is some now a few opportunities, a few tenders that they ask us to apply with them because we're adding the scores for innovation. So what we're doing is quite unique and also kind of proven with the customers that we're doing already. I know that there are a lot of buzzwords around about AI, and but in the end, they do fill the gap in those specific features or what we excel at, and it makes more sense to work with them together. And also in regards of the size, so yes, we are a small startup, but if they're the massive boats, if I'm comparing them to the massive boats on the ocean, that we're the speedboats, and the customers are really they really have a very big impact or feedback that it's very refreshing. Our approach also to adapt and to listen to their needs, and then to add new features is something that is very refreshing to them, and we're getting this from all of our customers, and I guess this is one of our key differentiator.
Thank you. As you may know, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries developed automated toll system for Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have a potential opportunity to collaborate.
So one of our investors are Goldbell, and they're very much dominate in Singapore. Yes, for sure. We have been in conversation there, and we'll be there's an ongoing discussion with them.
Okay, so I will contact you later.
Thank you very much.